Hey, how's it going, everyone? It is Drago. We're back with another chapter of Fairy Tale 100 Year Quest. Chapter 197, The Flames Smell. And the cover page for this chapter pretty much has every cat or exceed on the cover doing a dance, which I find it kind of hilarious because it's like, what are they practicing here? Because it seems like they're doing like a choreography kind of dance. I do kind of love the idea that just all of them go to a dance studio together just to practice. So we pick up this chapter with Freed and Mest witnessing people turning into dragons and then deciding, oh hey, we gotta report this to the guild, which is where the majority of this chapter honestly takes place, is at the guild hall, which you get a little check-in with everyone, which is kind of fun. And it also explains how the Fairy Tale members that ended up fighting Alderaan right now, like Gajil, Juvia, Mira, Elfman, how they got there. They probably got there from Mest and Freed, which also on this page has Jet and Droy, and Jet is the most jank looking I think I've ever seen Jet. You gotta love that Master Makarov does not want to send pretty much anyone here to aid them in backup because he doesn't think any of them could contribute at all to helping the Dragon God situation. And pretty much the only one that they potentially think could help is already gone, and that turns out to be Laxus, and he's going off by himself solo. And Laxus just so happens to stumble upon Fortune. I genuinely really like their first interaction because Fortune just kind of stumbling around eventually falls over and Laxus goes to help, and she immediately is like, hey, don't touch me, you're gonna get burned. And I actually really love this moment with Laxus, with him saying I'm used to fire, and it's just kind of sweetly helping her up. Very, very nice. I love that it's kind of like a Juvia, like Gradar situation, to where like off in the distance Freed senses that his spot is being replaced. So Fortune and Laxus end up chatting with one another, and he finds out that Fortune was trying to stop Ignia, and the second he hears that name he's like, oh, where the heck is this guy? I gotta go take him out right now. Which is where we cut over to Natsu with Bestia, and he's still continuing to eat the flames, and he's just kind of slowly working his way out of his flame containment, and he's got like his arms exposed, and he's kind of finally moving around a little bit, but his lower half is still stuck. And this is also the moment that Natsu is kind of realizing that these flames are the special flames that Fortune had told him about in the past, and apparently these flames smell like Igneal to Natsu and are probably giving him the properties of when he had the Igneal flames, which has Natsu immediately thinking like, is Bestia like the reincarnated version of Igneal, which apparently she's not, which honestly leads me to believe either like maybe Igneal's wife, maybe Ignia's mom, you know, or somehow related to Igneal in some way, form, or how. Which is where you get a portal opening up, and this is where you get Fortune and Laxus joining Natsu. And I actually really dig this panel with like Laxus stepping out of the portal. It just looks really cool for whatever reason. And I love that like Bestia is just like absolutely defeated that like everyone's entering her dimension without permission, and she's just like, does none of my plans work out as intended? Like everything just keeps getting worse for her. Also, if Fortune actually ends up as Laxus's cat, like the fact that she can like teleport to different dimensions and stuff, super useful ability. And the final page of this chapter has Natsu absolutely fired up and ready to go, and I love that Laxus knows like, oh yeah, he's ready, let's go. Which this panel with Natsu also looks super cool, with him just like burning. That's honestly the best way to describe it, but honestly kind of gives me the Fire Dragon King mode with the Igneal flames kind of vibes. I wonder if he'll get that tattoo again, since he had igneal flames within him, and Bestia is still absolutely defeated that her plans are not going as intended, and she just powered up Natsu. With that, it is the end of this chapter, so my thoughts. Again, we do not get Gajeel finishing his fight against Zero. Probably next week, but I've been saying that for months at this point. I do not think Laxus and Natsu are going to that fight at all. I think they're so focused on Ignia that what is the point? I do love that we got a guild check-in to see how everyone was doing. It's always nice when that happens. Kind of cool to know that like Mest and Freed are kind of like surveying the Fairy Tail members just to make sure everyone's safe. Now, I absolutely do love the idea that Laxus could potentially get a cat here, because he's been wanting a cat for a very long time, and I think Fortune as a cat and potential new member for Fairy Tail could be very cool. And honestly, kind of would make sense, because Laxus gave Natsu some lightning, so he gets lightning flame dragon mode, and Laxus getting a fire cat, kind of fulfilling the lightning flame dragon fantasy. And I think his moment, honestly, with Fortune was very sweet. Going on to Natsu potentially being involved with someone with igneal ties, to where the flames are very reminiscent of igneals. Very interesting. It is, what relation does Bestia have to him is the big question. Otherwise, just kind of a break chapter, setting up some things, and some new players joining the fight. What are your guys' thoughts on this chapter? Leave in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and this is Drago, signing out.